Go make your coffee. Am I live?
You're live.
Okay, it still says waiting, so I don't know what.
There's always going to be a delay on your side, babe.
No, that's fine.
Say
That's
hello.
fine.
Be a good host.
Just a minute.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, see, I don't know what's going on my end. Hi, everybody.
There's always going to be a delay on your side, honey.
No. It's my computer. It's. I'm just gonna explain shit to my wife now.
Talk to your audience.
Hey, we got 5 people in already, so everybody's patient. People love me. Yeah, we had 3 fat readers went long today, and yeah, I'm
awesome.
because they were being super awesome today. So, and I'm kind of sandwiching in between 3 fat readers, and Becca's changed her channel name. Becca Intuition Tarot with Becca. Becca's Intuition Tarot was, she always has Becca Talks Tarot. I think is the name now. And Tarot. It doesn't really matter if you're subscribed to Becca. She's gonna have her chat at 1, so I'll try to be done. I'm gonna do my best to be done by then. And if you're not subscribed to Becca, go subscribe to Becca because she's awesome. She does fun tarot chats too. Yeah, and the chat that just ended was 3 fat readers. Dustin, Modern Metaphysical Man, hosts that along with my wife, the lovely Lisa, and along with Danny of Danny Mystic. So yeah, whenever they go late, that just means I'll go late. Because let the actual real knowledgeable people that actually educate the community take precedence is kind of like how I think of it. It's like I'm just having a shit show over here. It's fine. I can wait. So last week's topic was Rasputin. Was it Rasputin last week? Oh my God. Okay, has anybody noticed every single week I sit in front of the camera and I go, last week's topic was,
and then you draw
and I blank every time. 2 seconds ago, I'm like, oh yeah, blah, 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 Rasputin, and da, Rasputin, and I sit here and I still have to think about it.
Has everybody seen my roadkill rose?
Lisa has a roadkill rose. Oh, Witchy and Bright, welcome. Oh, and I see names that I saw 5 minutes ago. That is awesome.
Hello.
Yeah, and we finally figured this out. This week. That because Lisa is like the command center over there, but I actually got my computer back now. We literally found a rose in the street on Valentine's Day and rescued it. So this is Lisa's rescue rose. It's doing awesome. It's our newest pet. It's the newest member of the family. We haven't named it yet. But yeah, we are super amused by this because we had decided not to do anything romantic-y for Valentine's. And it literally fell on the street in front of. Well, it had fallen on the street, and we found it, and not literally in the middle of the road on the yellow line, not a mark on it. Oh, I'm real and knowledgeable, but you guys are tarot. This is like, yeah, Dustin's being nice. He said you're real and knowledgeable, but I'm also this is also a shit show social hour. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Roadkill roses. I mean, a rose is a rose is a rose. That's from Shakespeare? And I bet you Dustin actually knows the whole thing. The
actual quote.
The actual quote. Yeah, you're gonna hear noise in the background. Lisa's drinking coffee. So last week was Rasputin, and last week with Rasputin was really weird because when you started looking stuff up, the lack of information was more telling than the information because I just burped.
Welcome to Peggy's Paranormal Pottery.
Did I not already say shit show?
You didn't fart yet, though, so we're good.
No, I farted while you were having yours, but you had the sound off.
Thanks for announcing that.
She has a sound off. She set the sound off to ask me a question, and she's like, "A rose is a rose is a rose." It was written by Gertrude Stein as part of the 1913 poem "Sacred Emily."
Did you just pull that out of your ass, Dustin? Probably.
But you say I'm knowledgeable, Dustin. This guy is an encyclopedia of all of the things, especially classical. Yeah.
Peggy's got all of my paranormal information. Dustin's got a bunch of like art history and also paranormal information. So between the two of them, I'm good.
We are just beating her with information constantly. It's like unless you're tired and it's like it's not working, it doesn't sink in. Anyway. Yeah, so you Googled it.
Oh, well.
Okay. Well, okay. Hey, well, no, at least he's honest. He's honest. I love honesty. Like he could have faked it.
True that.
I mean, faking things is bad. So he didn't. It's fine.
Because I knew it wasn't Shakespeare.
Okay. You knew more than I did.
There you go.
There's a Shakespeare quote. There's a Shakespeare passage that has something to do. I think it's from Romeo and Juliet about for but if you call a rose by any other name would still smell as sweet or something like that, because it was one of that's all I remember is that there's a reference. But lots of people write roses. Roses are red, violets are blue. Today is Valentine's. I love you. There.
Aww.
Aww.
You're a weirdo.
I made that sound snarky and sarcastic.
Because that's your natural.
That's my natural.
That's your default language.
It's my state of being. So it's fine. Yeah, a rose by any other name would still have sweet. Would smell as sweet. Romeo and Juliet. Yep. That's the one I was thinking. That's the one I was thinking of. But it's like I'm not. Apparently, I thought I wasn't smart enough to recall it, and I almost got there because I got Romeo and Juliet, and it was wasn't it Romeo, and it was a soliloquy that he did. Anyway.
You just said a big word.
Yeah, that I don't have to Google. He said. See, we both know stuff. We're talking about Romeo and Juliet, and we're supposed to be talking about Freemasons, and we're supposed to be recapping a little bit on Rasputin. Rasputin was weird. Rasputin was a really weird one because when you go look it up, you find out that there's very little about him that was actually a known fact. Most of what was known about him was stories told by either his supporters or his detractors. And yet he's in the Russian royal family. He's like basically been drawn into the family. And he's actually, at the end of the day, played a pivotal role in the people turning against the royal family, which is what triggered the Bolshevik Revolution. It's like he was pivotal to all these things, and yet almost no actual facts are known about him. Yeah, Act 2, Scene 2. I even know that much. Isn't that weird? Like, you're just like, oh, I don't know that shit. And then something triggers a memory. And you're like, oh, yeah, it's this. Oh, yeah, it's this. Oh, yeah, it's this. I could not tell you that much, but I got close to having a fact that mattered. It was fun.
That coy face with everything. Do you still have coffee? You still have coffee.
I have another coffee.
Oh, you already made your second coffee.
I've made mine. I've got, last time I tried to do this without nearly enough coffee, and it got weird.
For me.
That's true. Okay. So how's everybody's day? Today's topic is Freemasons.
I made the graphic 35 seconds ago. Well.
Oh my God. Okay. Do you have any idea the shit that has been getting? I just spit. Do you guys ever do that? And everybody does it. There's a little gland at the front of your mouth.
We all do it. Don't describe it.
Yeah.
Stop now.
I'm just like boom.
Peggy loves you. She spit on you.
Okay, it's normal, but that was fucking inconvenient. Anyway. Anyway. So all week long this week, hey, I want to do some lookups on Freemasonry, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, honey, but, we need to take the dogs for a walk. Oh, and we need to spend a little time on it today because Shayla's a little constipated. 2 hours later.
I'm spit to dog poop. Great.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Oh, no, you're not late, Donna, you're not late. 3 Fat Readers went over, so I'm starting late anyway. So it's no big deal. Like, if 3 Fat Readers runs late, then I'm just always going to start late. Because we're doing different things, and I'm already sandwiched in between. I'm not going to get in anybody's way. Anyway, so Freemasonry, it is like the universe conspired. Like, my God, the one day I'm like, oh, I really want to sit down for a couple hours and start getting some, start doing some lookups and getting some stuff to, people call it gleeking. Anyway, and it's like, oh, the dog's a little constipated. We really need to take some time today. Okay, there goes that window of time. It's like, oh, this came up and we have to run this errand. Oh, that took that. And I mean, stupid shit like a constipated dog all fucking week. I didn't finally sit down to start looking any of this stuff up till last night. Got a couple of links that I'm like reading, trying to. I still haven't read the links, just pulling them up so that I have them ready to go. Freemasonry is really interesting for a whole lot of reasons. The facts around Freemasonry are not nearly as interesting as the conspiracy theories around Freemasonry, but I found some facts that are fun. I found some facts that are really interesting about Freemasonry that are going to be fun. Yeah. Ooh, a beef brisket. I'm coming to your house. I'm coming to your house. I mean, my God. Okay, me and Donna have to get together and just cook. I like to cook, but I like to cook for large numbers of people. I like to just put on a feast, and it's like weird because I hate the cleanup, but I love the cooking.
Yum food. I'm hungry.
Yeah, these boys of mine can put away some meat. Yeah. Okay. So Rasputin was interesting because of the lack of information. The Freemasons are actually interesting because of the overabundance of information that leads to all the conspiracy theories. And they are wrapped up with almost every notable conspiracy for the last 500 years. So we're gonna get going. We're gonna get started now. I am gonna try and have a hard cut at about 1:45 if we're still going. Because I don't want to encroach on Becca's chat. Like I said, I'll go late. I'll go late if Three Fat Readers runs late, and I'll make sure I stop in time for Becca. And if anybody has the link for her, I'm still getting used to this. I have my computer back and I'm not working from a tablet this time. If anybody has a link to her channel, that'd be awesome because people should go check her out too.
I can put it up.
And maybe put up Three Fat Readers if anybody wants to subscribe to that one for the next one.
Okay.
Anybody with a channel, because Donna's got a channel. If any, okay. Anybody with a tarot related channel, my God, share your shit. Just share your shit. Put up all the fucking links.
Yeah, sometimes YouTube doesn't let them. So.
Oh, okay.
But definitely try.
My God, definitely try. I mean, most of the people that are in this chat, most of the people that come visit me on for this are also in tarot. So it's like all you tarot people, share your shit. Just share your shit. Anyway, okay, so Freemasons. So basically Freemasons, I'm not sure who or what they were before about the 1500s, and I don't know that there's necessarily going to be a lot of information on that. What we do know about these, crafting guilds, which is what the Freemasons started off as stonemasons. They were a stonemasons guild. We do know that they were heavily involved with the Templars. At the very least, they were the ones who went into the Templar enclaves and built their cathedrals and fortresses, and there's also conspiracy theories about whether it was the Masons teaching the Templars or the Templars teaching the Masons, because at a certain point, all of a sudden, the Masons are making these grand cathedrals using designs that were kind of lost during the Roman era. And we'll keep it generic because if we get down into the specifics of that, we'll waste all of our time just talking about building techniques. So the Masons essentially start a bit of a rise to power thing because they're a secret society, and there's rumors. There's the very first conspiracy. Well, not the very first, but the first notable conspiracy theory is that the Templars that were escaping the Knights Templar that were escaping the pogrom against them went into stonemason enclaves for protection and to hide, and brought their treasures and stuff like that with them. So, starting with the stonemasons, we have starting with the stonemasons, they have somewhat of a rise. They have a certain degree of power already, and a lot of that is a couple of fun facts to remember about society at that time. And this is society at that time as it existed for hundreds of years, was that only the priests, only the priests, the religious, only the religious and the elite, the nobility, generally speaking, had access to education, had access to resources, had access to a lot of things. So you've got the stonemasons. Now you can have a weaver's guild, you have all these other guilds, but there are certain professions in life where you don't have to be educated or literate to engage in certain professions. You couldn't be a stonemason. You could not be a stonemason unless you knew how to read and write, because you would have to read plans for these, read blueprints for massive cathedrals. These people were highly educated at a time when education of commoners was almost unheard of. So right there, that's going to be your first. Yeah, literally like getting blood from a stone. So the first thing to know about the Masons is that at a time in history when the commoners were not educated and it was seen as detrimental to be educated, this was a highly educated class of people that were neither in the priesthood or in the royal families. They were commoners. It didn't happen. That right there is going to put a lot of mystery, a lot of conspiracy, a lot of this and a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of this, and then over time, a secret society. Okay, these guilds would protect the secrets of how they created their craft. If you were a weaver, you would not talk to a non-weaver about how to build a loom, because somebody else could go ahead and build a loom and then take away your business. And these were work or die societies. There was no such thing as welfare, old age pension. There was nothing. If you didn't work, you were probably going to find yourself if you did not have something to do to earn money, you would find yourself starving in the street. And this was and again, we're not going to judge it. We're just going to say this is the reality of the day. So you're in a lucrative profession like stonemasonry. It requires a high degree of education, highly lucrative, because you're building fortresses and cathedrals and palaces. You are one of the professions for which the upper classes, the elites, desperately need you. Like, people don't really think, oh, anybody can put a seed in the ground and grow some stuff. Like, people don't think, everything has its hierarchy. So stonemasons were in this place where they were, okay, well, you don't like us and you want to persecute stonemasons. Well, the next fortress we build for you is going to have secret tunnels and secret entrances, and we're going to make sure the enemy finds out about them. And that did happen. That has happened throughout history. It's like, oh, the builders that built this the builders that did this were treated in this way, and they put in a secret, and so they went to the enemy and told them where the secret access tunnels and stuff were. Because sometimes those, anyway. So now this is going, oh, who got what wrong? Anyway, so basically, stonemasonry being one of the professions which requires education, and the guilds of the time. So the stonemasons guild would be very secretive about what they did, and they're educated and they have access to things. And if you're an upper class person and you want a certain thing built in, like, you might have to go get, it's like you go to the stonemasons and say, I want this built, but I want it to have this, like the ancient whatever did. And you're going to say, okay, well, then you need to get me the information so we can put it together and build it. Yeah. See, now, Dover, what I'm referring to is back in like the 1500s, the reality of the stonemasons guild, the reality that they lived in their day-to-day society. The day-to-day society of a stonemason in the 1500s was, if you're not working, you're not eating. But you have to be educated at a time when nobody else is educated. So it's not what stonemasons were or weren't doing, it's how they were perceived at the time. When the only people that can read are the priests, the royalty, and the stonemasons, they're, God, it's all about the gossip, right? So stonemasonry is currently huge. It's got, and there are things that stonemasons are like, we don't talk about this stuff. Absolutely. So the conspiracies. So basically, the conspiracy theory part, and I am speaking directly to Dover because I don't want to make it sound like I'm shitting on anybody. We're talking about the conspiracies that have built up around the Masons. We're not making any judgment on what is or isn't happening, or who stonemasons are as, or who the Freemasons are as people, and as members of an organization. And I know that a lot of people that are involved in the Freemasons feel generally shit upon when conversations like this happen. And what we're talking about here is like, this is awesome sauce shit that we're really interested in. Yeah, they traveled, they were needed, they went where the work was, they traveled freely, but they also, like I said, they enjoyed things that commoners of that time and day did not even remotely have a chance of having access to. And so that's going to create that literally creates a mystique among the uneducated, among the lower classes, that's never going to go away. Then there's the conspiracy theory that the Templars relocated to Scotland. That's the first big one, because people of social standing wanted to become Freemasons once stonemasons kind of morphed into Freemasons, and this is like a 1500s historical thing. So once that kind of happened, then at the same time, because we did the Templars chat, and didn't we say it was like was it 1314 or 1413 that the Templars were purged? And by the 1500s, the Freemasons are suddenly at the center of every single conspiracy that exists, because the rumors persist that the Templars have joined with the Freemasons and formed a secret society within what is already a secretive society. Secretive, maybe that's the better word.
Secretive is good, yeah.
So, because stonemasons by default Stonemasons in the 1500s by default had to be secretive to protect their livelihood, to protect this, because like I said, it's a work or die society. They're protecting their livelihood. The weavers, the tailors, even farmers had their guilds to protect what they did and how they did it, to protect their income, to protect their livelihood. This was very, very normal, very, very common, very, very expected. But like I said, a lot of these guilds and societies did not need the high degree of intense, and they did not need the high degree of education and the high. Yes, men were murdered to protect their trade secrets. And again, this is about the trade of stonemasonry. And then when the conspiracy theories started, how do I express this? So basically, there's all okay. Every single society that develops, or guild that develops to protect trade secrets, gets wrapped up in some degree of controversy. Stonemasons having more power, and of course the guild houses, and this might be another little fun fact that people don't know, but the guild houses back then in those societies, they would collect a portion of all the earnings and hold it, so that way, if a brother of the guild, it didn't matter what the guild was, so if a brother of the tailors guild, a brother of the whatever guild, a brother of the stoneworkers guild became ill or had problems, that the guild, if he was a member in good standing of his guild, the guild would come to his aid. They would help. These are the royalty owns the land. Everybody pays rent, so they would step in and pay the bills. They would help the family. They would buy him supplies until he got better, or they would support the family, especially if the stonemason, especially if somebody died died on the job, kind of thing, right? So yeah, they treat it like a family. So stonemasons, being the richer your profession was, and building cathedrals pays well, the richer your guild was. So stonemasons for the dirty and dangerous work that it was, enjoyed a level of prosperity in society that it was also hard to come by. And last little fun fact, professions were not learned at trade schools. Professions were passed down father to son, father to son, father to son. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, my brother-in-law was a Mason. My brother-in-law was a Mason. He joined the Freemasons. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. And honestly, it's kind of funny. I don't know, and I don't care, because I'm not interested. It's not something I wanted to do. I'm really, really interested in the theories. So let's move on to the theories. So we basically, there's all kinds of shit already happening, but then this idea that the Templars have joined forces with the Masons it's an unshakable conspiracy theory that has never gone away. And that started as murmurs and rumors from the very get-go. And we do know that the Templars and the Masons enjoyed a very close relationship because of the work that the Templars were involved in. So this is not the one I wanted. I actually pulled up. I bookmarked it. My God, this is going to be an absolute shit show of a conversation. It's going to be fun, but because I did not get nearly enough studying time on this. So there are conspiracy theories involving. So there's hundreds of theories. There's literally hundreds of theories. I would literally have to run this chat for the next 24 hours to even touch on them, because a 500-year-old society that keeps records, right? So, and the people involved, there's always been people trying to infiltrate, learn the secrets. Now, something else, any society that has rituals, the rituals are designed to test. So if you're trying to become a Freemason, you're not going to get far. If you're one of the tests in the Freemasonry is, of course, can you keep a secret? This is a secret society. So moving forward, and yeah, people were killed over not keeping the secrets, and if you were proven to be somebody who couldn't keep a secret, you were ejected from the guild, which was a death sentence in the 1500s. You have no other knowledge or skill in life but stonemasonry, and you're now not allowed to be a stonemason. Yeah, sacred Jama.
No, wait, sorry. Can you answer it? Was our Oracle's question?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Donna?
Yeah, you may have to comment. Okay, we're trying yet a different setup today, so I'm not seeing things the same way.
I'm calling your attention to it.
Okay.
So.
What is the women's portion called? Eastern Star. Order of the Eastern Star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real test of integrity. Can you keep a secret is huge. And again, so the reputation of the stonemasons of killing people who didn't keep their secrets was very, very real. It was not a conspiracy theory. It was reality. Just simply being again a worker in a work or die society, the guy that doesn't have work dies. It's simple. It's like so and you know, killing somebody who tried to take the secrets out of the guild. It's like, again, we're not going to judge their society, but we're going to point that out. So what we have going on right now is, at some point in time, and Dover is unfortunately going to be you're going to be our resident expert today, but eventually through whatever channels, the Masons started allowing outsiders to the stonemasons evolved into something a little bit different and started letting outsiders join that portion. Very secretive, and obviously certain skills like the ability to read and write, which was the exception, not the norm back then, means that only certain classes are actually going to have access to this. But so first conspiracy theory, the Templars heavily influenced. At some point, there was a shift in the stonemasons. They went from being a working man's guild to a secret society that had a huge influence in power and politics throughout Europe. That eventually came, and they started in England. The Freemasons themselves started in the UK. Oh my God, where is this?
I love that we have Dover in here to help us stay on.
I love anything. And again, like I said, these conspiracy theories are fun shit that we're looking at, not oh my God, Masons are horrible people. So just keep that in mind. Let me start every sentence with that. Hey, what?
Which handbrake?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am literally, I've got my thing all fucked up here. He took a lot of the sacred rituals and incorporated them into the Mormon temple. It's believed that many of the mob that killed him were Masons. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so one of the things, so several things that we know happened, and again, this is one of those interesting things. A lot of powerful, influential people became Masons, and I'm not up to date on the history of stonemasonry to know. Yeah, to be fair, if someone is killed for running a mouth, it's something they knowingly signed up for. Fair game. That's exactly the mentality at the time. And so what we also know, and this is an interesting thing because it's complete. It's a natural segue, but we know that the rich and powerful eventually started becoming Freemasons, joining them as a society. We don't know initially what their role was because they weren't stoneworkers. But I believe that they were probably because they were the ones who were paying for the building of churches, the building of this, the building of that. They were probably let in as almost as much a courtesy as anything else, and eventually they became an integral part of the Freemasonry society versus the stonemasons guild. Does that make sense? So there was a morphing, and I don't know where the separations begin and end. And again, this is like 100% chit chatting about shit. This is why I call it the shit show. Yeah, Dover, this honestly, Dover, what I will tell you right now is this is not about confirming anything. This is about talking about the theories without worrying about whether or not anybody can confirm anything. Some of the things that we do know is like the founding fathers of the United States, of the 39 people that signed the Declaration of Independence, 13 of them were Freemasons. And we know that because they reached a high enough degree in Freemasonry, they were people that knew how to keep a secret. Now, so these are people of similar mindset that came together as part, and they formed 1/3 of the initial government assembly that created the United States. So does Freemasonry control the government, or did Freemasonry simply provide an avenue for people who would eventually form government to get to know each other and have a safe place to have their discussions? I mean, if you're a whatever degree Freemason who has proved beyond all shadow of a doubt that you can keep a secret, then you're now approachable. And one of the rules of Freemasonry that I happen to know is that, you know, like something that is, if two Freemasons share information, it's to be kept as sacred as the confessional. So they don't spill each other's secrets, even regardless of the secret. So, and this is like a mutual respect within a society, and that is something that happens everywhere. So, um, yeah, there you go. I'm great at keeping secrets. My memory is so bad that I just forget things before I can run my mouth. Yeah, 14 presidents were Freemasons. Basically there was a lot of involvement. It was a rich man's hobby. There was definitely an aspect of this is a rich man's hobby. They became Freemasons, but like we also have the proof. We also have absolute, incontrovertible proof that that people that go to certain colleges and universities, like private schools, we're talking like certain private schools, certain boarding schools, tend to form the basis of blah.
Of
um
blah?
of blah.
Societies
Okay,
or societies in
well,
general?
no, like okay, like a lot of presidents, a lot of presidents and highly influential political people have a very strong tendency to have all gone to the same two or three colleges and universities, because that's what those colleges and universities are known for. There's a particular school, just to take it away from politics. There is if you look up the entertainment industry, there is a particular Juilliard School of Performing Arts. We know that people that go to Juilliard are almost certainly going to end up in the entertainment industry. And then when you look at the entertainment industry, you go, well, of course they know each other. They went to Juilliard together. Well, of course they know each other. They went to Juilliard together. Juilliard is going to teach, and like I said, this is a complete segue. Juilliard, as a school of the performing arts, is going to teach the same morals and standards to all of their kids. So regardless of how those kids do or don't behave, they know they're going to come out of an education at Juilliard knowing what the behavioral expectations are, right? They're going to have access. They're going to have access. The entertainment industry is aware of Juilliard, which means that these kids are going to have access to opportunities in entertainment that Joe Blow on the street doesn't have. The stonemasons became the same thing when the rich and powerful decided that they wanted to join. It's not it's Yeah, I wish you had access to my library. There's a thing. Apparently in 2015, huge portions of the Freemasons library was open to the public. I have no idea what portions, but like one portion that was opened up was a list of names of all the people that have ever been in the roles as Mason. Um, okay, so real simple Earth data. So my missing what a Freemason is it like a union? It started off like a union, like a guild. But this has been the stonemasons have been around literally since they've been around for like centuries. They're one of the oldest professions that there is. Forming guilds around these things protected their rights, protected their income. They were able to collect. So yeah, it was like a union. It was very, very much like a union. But it was also back then a worker, and I keep saying work or die society, and this is the part that's wow, that's a really cool picture.
That's a Masonic library.
That's a Masonic library. Yeah. So, but the problem with unions in the 1500s was that, yeah, former bosses have looked at their website. I went down a rabbit hole for 2 effing hours. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't need secrets to be a good man. Absolutely. So the thing is that the conspiracies around stonemasons have been there for a long time. Just yeah, they were all Freemasons, and it was a Mason who helped my son. I only have very positive opinions. I don't need to know their secrets. I don't really care about their secrets. I'm more enjoying the conspiracies, because don't forget, anybody can be an asshole. A Freemason does not being a Freemason doesn't make you a good person. It means that you are part of a society. You can still be an asshole and be a part of a society. You can still be problematic in other ways and be part of a society, part of a group, part of a guild. So what we've got right now is, so Freemasonry takes off among the upper classes, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now it's not about working men working with stone. Yeah, the Rothschilds are Freemasons. But again, just think of Juilliard as a really good example. School for the Performing Arts. Everybody knows what it is, what they do, what they're there for. So if you're looking for new talent, you're going to go to Juilliard. If you're looking for a guy who can keep a secret, a guy who might be on your side, you're going to ask your fellow Freemasons if you got something going on. Okay, so where are we at? Oh yeah. I know one of the things in the library is a list. every Freemason library keeps a list of every person who's ever been a member of that particular guild house. And I forget, it's not guild house, it's whoever's ever been a member of that chapter. So there's that. So let's just jump straight to the biggest conspiracy theory, because like I said, we can do this all day and not touch on any of the, basically every single controversial thing that's ever happened that involves people of relatively high status and standing in the community gets blamed on Freemasons, because for the most part, you go into, I don't want to say that they're involved. Yeah, only the 33 degrees. Yeah, there's all sorts of things, and basically there's secrets that get revealed as you move up the chain, as you move up the food chain in Masonry. So even within Masonry, other Masons perpetuate conspiracy theories. It's like, oh yeah, we really and I'm not going to speak for Dover, but I mean, I don't know if this is something you can confirm or deny. People try to join the Freemasons believing that Freemasons secretly rule the world, and that once you work your way up, you'll eventually become part of this leadership that rules the world. People try to join the Freemasons because of asinine ideas like this. I'm assuming that if they're, I am assuming that if people present with problematic issues, they're asked to leave. But it's an established, and again, Dover has to neither confirm nor deny.
Dover just said not the only ones.
Oh no, that comment was already up.
Okay.
Hi ɛperəʻnôrm, and yeah, hi everybody that came in. I've been watching everybody come in, and I'm just busy babbling my shit. And I mean, you know, I don't need to take roll call because you guys are just fucking awesome, and you're all welcome. Anyway, I know people that tried to join the Freemasons because they believed that they were going to be part of a secret society trying to rule the world. This has got nothing. Yeah, this has got nothing to do with who Freemasons are. This has got to do with the kind of people that try to become part of the organization, and that perpetuates a lot of shit.
This is a chart actually of the levels.
Yeah. Now there's different rites. There's the Scottish rite, there's the blue something, and the York rite. There's Scottish rite, York rite, there's something blue, the Blue Temple, isn't it?
Well, Blue Lodge Master is actually a level. So entered apprentice, fellow craft, Blue Lodge Master Mason, it looks like.
I thought there was one, and France has their own. Oh, thanks,
Oh yeah, it says
Pomona.
Royal Order of Scotland.
Yeah.
And Red Cross.
Yeah, and this is something else. Sometimes these are emblems, not a hierarchy.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, from how we're going to understand it, it's not, you know, unless somebody's actually actively involved in the Masons, very few people are going to understand all of that. But there is a hierarchy, and that's fine. You work your way up through the degrees. But yeah, so
emblematic structure. There's
a Scottish rite, the York rite. France has their own system. Jamaica, believe it or not, has their own system. So there's all that shit happening. And again, the conspiracy theories that there's a conspiracy theory that the stonemason that the Freemasons. Okay, let's go in order. Let's go in order and try and hit on some of the obvious ones. The Knights Templar integrated with the Masons and became the Freemasons. That's number one. And we already talked about the Knights Templar, so we know that there's a lot of conspiracy around that, especially a lot of conspiracy about the wealth that the Templars were able to escape with. Then we have the conspiracy that the Masons then took over to a certain degree, starting, and it grew. The stonemasons as we understand them today essentially grew from the UK. And we talked about the Templars in like Spain and Portugal. So there is conspiracies that the Masons are sitting on massive amounts of wealth, massive amounts of wealth, and that they have, and not that these well-off people wanted to become Masons, but that the Masons drew them in to take over, to basically rule from the shadows. So we've got around, I forget when the rumors of Illuminati started, but basically the conspiracy theory is that the Illuminati are high-ranking Masons that secretly rule the world. And it's like, Now, there's so fucking many people that believe that, and there are so many other. Yeah, it doesn't matter who the Mason is, where in the world they are from. We are all brothers that share one experience, which is hush hush. Exactly. If one Mason, there's secret signs, and if one Mason identifies himself to another Mason anywhere in the world, that that person has an obligation to help each other. Like, there's certain things about the Masons. So anyway, but the conspiracy theories. Oh my God, the conspiracy theories. I mean, I know there's some Masons that get quite offended that the conspiracy theories even exist, and I know that there's other Masons that think it's the funniest thing in the world. Oh, hi, Caroline. Yeah, aliens rule the matrix. There is a conspiracy theory. Okay, so let's just bounce through the conspiracy theories and see how many we can get to, because there's a conspiracy theory that aliens have made contact, and they made contact with the government officials that they made contact with happen to be Masons, and so now the Masons have taken over the alien experience. That Masons work closely with aliens to secretly control the world behind the scenes. And it's like kind of fucking awesome when you think about it. So that's fine. Um, and so that's a good one. But what was one of the other ones? Oh, that the moon landing was faked, that the Masons funded it, which is why I went on my little segue. There is a huge conspiracy theory about the amount. Like, there is a conspiracy theory that the masonry, that the upper levels of the masonry. Bye Dover. I would love to hear comments. Just, and like I said, not disclosing secrets. Just any comments that you might have, what the general opinions are within Masonry itself as to how Masons view these endless conspiracy theories. Are they amused? Do you find that people are generally amused? Do you find that people generally are disgusted? Do you find that it's a potpourri? Do you find that things that are irrelevant as a Mason are things that are blown out of, like? And again, if you can leave a comment, I would love to hear your perspective, and not as a Mason, but not on Masonry, but on the intense, never-ending 500-year history of conspiracies that wraps around your organization. Because like I said, that's what our topic is actually about today. Did I say that right? I hope I said it right, but yes. Any other Masons too. Like, I mean, this is fascinating to me, because, like, okay, my brother-in-law was a Mason. And I said, well, what about all the conspiracy theories, blah 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 blah? And he's like, dude, I'm in a small lodge in St. Thomas, Ontario. I am never going to reach high enough. If any of this shit's true, I'm never going to get high enough up into the organization to find out. So what do I care? And it's like, he wouldn't talk about he doesn't talk about being in Masonry. He keeps the secrets. He follows the rules. He does everything right. But he's also like, yeah, like, whatever. If that's going on, that's happening in a place and in a situation that has nothing to do with the rest of us. That was his take on it. But of course, again, and he kind of thought, I think he kind of thought the conspiracy theories were funny. So I don't, anyway. So yeah, and I'm not sure, but previously, you could only become a Mason if you were sponsored by a family member. And now I think Masonry is more open to more people. But anyway, okay. Lisa's just kind of looking at me going, my God, you're just being a squirrel today.
No.
I'm always a squirrel. It's fun. Okay. So I'm gonna do the thing, because I didn't get enough time. And I know everybody's heard something. So what kind of stuff have you guys heard about the Freemasons?
The dollar bill.
Yeah, okay, the dollar bill. Oh, can you bring up a copy of the US dollar bill? The all-seeing eye on the dollar bill.
There's even more than that, apparently, but I'll bring up the
Now, the US dollar bill is supposed to contain instructions to Freemasons. It's supposed to contain, there are like a dozen. Okay, you still have to be. I'm not going to disagree with you, Marion, but I'm understanding that in Canada, at least, or in some areas of Canada, United States, they don't do that. But again, I'm not going to. You do have to be sponsored by a Mason, but you used to have to be sponsored by a blood relative who was a Mason, and now you just simply have to be sponsored. So this is the all-seeing eye, and this symbol is the Great Seal. It's on all money. Yeah, the healing eye of Horus, but the all-seeing eye is also an important symbol in Freemasonry. So the conspiracy theory is that this was put into the currency as a secret same as a and I know there's more than one conspiracy theory about this particular symbol. The theory that I've heard is that this was put into the dollar bill as a secret symbol to Freemasons globally, that the US government was secretly controlled by the Masons, and that the United States was a place of refuge for all Freemasons globally, and that if you are a Freemason and you want to come to the States, you will be helped by your brothers. Now, I also know, because I mean, if you do a lookup, and again, I'm not going to disrespect anybody who is a Mason, but if you do lookups, there are some of the books, and there are some of the materials that the Masons use for their rituals and their rites, and their rituals and rites involve explaining why these symbols mean something. This is what this symbol means. Is what that symbol means.
Are you still talking about the dollar bill?
I'm talking about just that one symbol right off the top, but this symbol also has other meanings. So you just found that, and I knew that there was more than one thing, and I'm just looking at them now.
I don't know what they all are, but I actually found this on I can't find the original article. It's probably taken down by Freemasons. But the original article was titled something along all, but that there was a secret code hidden in the dollar bill, and it highlighted all these different things.
Yes.
You can see the Masonic symbol actually. I'm going to zoom in on a couple spots. Like here, you can kind of see. Oh, will it let me?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so the one,
left here,
the bottom left. Oh, you can zoom in it. That is, yeah. So basically, the dollar bill is supposed to be an instruction manual for Freemasons on what to America is a safe haven for Masons. Come to America, and this is supposed to be a Freemason code. This is supposed to be all the things that are circled are supposed to be symbols that mean something to Freemasons, that tell them what to do, where to go, and who to talk to. And again, don't forget, there's conspiracies that the Templars came to the New World immediately as soon as they could. And this conspiracy theory is that with 13 of the 39 founding fathers being Masons, that this was assurances to the Freemason Guild worldwide that that Freemasons control the government, and that So, and honestly, this is, I was going to look this up. This is the part that I'm kicking my ass for. I kid you not. It was the most idiotic and trivial of errands that kept me distracted all week. But it's little things. And again, like for anybody who's just come into the room, one of the reasons why I couldn't look this stuff up the one day was because our dog was constipated and needed a walk. Yeah, Steven's in the next room giggling.
What about the Venn diagram connection between the Freemasons and the Illuminati?
Okay, the Illuminati are believed to be this is, again, conspiracy theory. So if anybody's a Mason or has connections, please put conspiracy theory at the end of every. I have no idea.
Just theories, yeah.
Okay, there is proof that there are people that have used their connections with Freemasonry to have a private, secure place in order to hatch conspiracies. Period. The founding fathers, like the war with the British and stuff like that, they hatched their plots in Freemason hall, in a Freemason hall. That was, whether or not it's true, that's what the thing is. And we know, if having a private discussion in a Freemason's hall, in a Freemason hall, means that you're free from eavesdroppers, because that kind of shit was not allowed. So we do know that. Now, is that the Freemasons are doing this, or is that people that are problematic are taking advantage of their Freemasonry connection?
Right.
We don't know which is which. We'll never know. We weren't there. Freemasonry as an organization might know, but they were at certain points in history, they were very secretive, and disclosing the secrets could get you killed. Yes, dear.
Barb asked an interesting question, because if women can't join the Freemasons, but they can join the Eastern Star. Barb says, this might be a stupid question, but is this why there's never been a woman president? The idea that maybe all presidents are Freemasons, or is it all just some, or it's just interesting.
Donna just admitted that she's naked. Now we know why she doesn't do lives. No, that's fine. I'm just thing. The conspiracy theory around that, and I don't know why I have to start every sentence with conspiracy theory. I suppose because I know that so many people have connections to the Masons. So I don't want to end up saying something that's going to sound like, well, I think, because I don't think any,
these are just theories.
These are just theories. These are just whatever, right? Okay. The idea is that there are theories that women are Freemasons, and that it's very Order of the Eastern Star is the female branch of the Masons. There are theories that women are. There are theories that once you get high up. Okay, let me start from the beginning, because this kind of relates to what Barb's saying, but it's kind of going to get there in a sideways manner. Okay, one of the theories is that the Illuminati are a branch of Freemasonry. That you start off whatever, and you work your way up, and once you get to like the whatever degree, that you then move into secret degrees that even the lodges don't know about. And that those secret degrees only exist in certain lodges, because they are the lodges where the Illuminati have. Lodges run somewhat independently. So then the theory is that you get up high enough, and this is if you're not born into this particular section of Freemasonry, you don't get to go past a certain thing. So you go up to a certain level, and then you start moving into secret levels where men and women can be part of the Illuminati. And that the Illuminati is a council of, now sometimes I hear 7 and sometimes I hear 13 highest of the highest ranking Freemasonry, who actually overtly and openly, openly from within the confines of their society, but they're the little spiders pulling all the strings and controlling the world. So yeah, it's like, so if you work your way up high enough, and that was one of the things, and this also goes back to the dollar bill. This was supposed to be a secret code to not only the Freemasons, but to the Illuminati, that they've established control of the country. So because the other conspiracy is that almost every nation, almost every European and North American nation, and even some other nations, but that all of Europe and North America, the upper levels of the Freemasonry, certain lodges have secret levels that nobody knows about. Those are the people that really run the world. So you can be a female president as long as your connections put you firmly in control of the Illuminati. That's the belief. But yeah, but I think I don't think it's even, I think there's also conspiracies that they don't run they don't control the presidency. They control the actual day-to-day government functioning behind the scenes. Yeah, that they run the CIA, the FBI. They run the things that.
And apparently, most of the founding fathers were not Freemasons. It says here.
Yeah, only 13 were.
No, of the founding fathers, of the 56 figures who signed the Declaration of Independence, only 9 were confirmed Masons. And of the 39 delegates of the Continental Congress who signed the draft, only 13, one-third, were.
Okay, so yeah, no, that's why I was saying 13 of 39. That's what I was talking about earlier on. So, but there's also a conspiracy theory of secret Masons, people that are really, 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 really high up in the Masonry, but that are not actually their names aren't in the records because they want to keep it a secret. That's Illuminati. That's the Illuminati stuff.
Apparently, they also don't talk about religion or politics.
Yeah, when you folded it, yeah, they don't talk. They don't.
In the lodge, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't need to, because the Illuminati is running the country. It's like this is where the thinking goes, right? So we've got theories about massive amounts of wealth being controlled by the Masons. We've got theories about the Masons literally running the country. We've got theories about a secret society within the society of Illuminati, and those members, their names aren't in the they can whatever it is that they do or don't do, that there's a secret society within the secret society of Masons, of Freemasons, whose names don't go in the record books, who other members don't know about, who, yeah, like, I mean, they might be on paper a first, and this is the fucked up that they, okay, and this is the conspiracy. They might be on paper a first degree, but in reality, they're like a 45th degree Illuminati. You know what I mean? Because at a certain, at the Masons actually have a very violent past where you disclose the secrets and you die. That there's people that have been killed for this. There was a guy in the 1800s that secretly that lied about his connections with Masonry, became a Mason. He basically moved from one town to another, goes to the lodge and says, "Hi, I'm a Mason." And they let him in. They didn't, because it's the, there's no email to double check on somebody. Let him in. He gathers up all this information and threatens to write a book. The Masons killed him. They literally, some of their members with connections to the police department trumped up some charges and arrested him. And then other Masons went to the jail, took him out of the jail, and he was never seen again. It's like they took their secrets that seriously. And you don't know who was doing what. Individual lodges had certain privileges and rights of their own that they could do without actually having to answer to the other ones. But yeah, so where are we at? So we've got the Templars, we've got secretly controlling society, we've got the Illuminati, we've got a secret police within the Masons to spy on, not to spy on their own. That's not quite it. But the Illuminati are really in control. If you don't keep the secrets, you might disappear. There's rumors. People that, like, we live in a big world that's got bad people in it, and every time somebody who happens to be a Freemason disappears or is inexplicably killed or commits suicide, it's always like, oh well, he found. There's always somebody that's willing to say he knew too much and had to go. Always. I mean, bad things happen to people, but yeah. Anyway, so where's my thing? I want to look up something for a second. I want to look at a thing. Yeah, that Freemasonry is a religion. Basically,
it's not a religion.
No, that's a secret religion.
This is a conspiracy.
That's a conspiracy. This is conspiracy. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're not. I know next. I mean, I'm like everybody else here. I know next to nothing about what the Freemasons actually do. I only know the conspiracies. That's all most of us know. So the one is that they are a secret religion. Again, starting in the 1500s. So this is something else. Is that starting in the 1500s, you couldn't be an atheist. The Inquisition would come and get you. So that particular one, that they're their own religion, has actually been around for a really long time. Because I mean, if you were not a Christian of the flavor that existed in your community, you could be shunned. Again, work or die society. You can't survive a shunning. You don't survive if your community decides to shun you in the 1100s. You don't generally tend to have a long, happy life after that. So it's a secret society that they have their own beliefs in gods, and this is what they do in order to hide from the Inquisition. That's one. And that as a secret society, they've maintained it ever since, because that's what the Illuminati tells them to do. And again, for most people, these conspiracy theories have been around for so long that in most people's minds, it's all connected into a very bizarre. I do believe that some of the conspiracy theories revolving around Freemasons are true. I think that the founding fathers, I think that back in those days when they were trying to separate from Britain and doing this and doing that, I do think that the American Freemasons involved in the revolution would have obviously used a Freemasonry hall as a place to have private discussions without fear of the British finding out, without fear of if one of your Masonic brethren overhears you, they're not going to tell on you, and if they do, the rest of the lodge is going to kill that person. It's you're risking your own life to tell secrets of members of the lodge. You keep each other's secrets. Absolutely, I do absolutely believe that there was I believe that the lodges were definitely a place of conspiracy during the revolution, planning attacks, doing whatever. A 13-year-old traced all presidents related, and only are they all related, they all trace back to King John Lackland. Age of the internet is great. Yeah, there's basically, here's the thing, is that a lot of the a lot of people that are in politics now is kind of that landscape is kind of changing now. But look at the Kennedys and look at other people like that. People don't go into the politics of power unless they have money backing them up, and it's not usually new money that does that. It's usually old money, and you have father, son, grandson become Masons. So obviously it becomes a place where people that need to have a private conversation can have a private conversation without fear of what might happen. And if your conversation could get you arrested and you happen to be a Mason, and the person you want to talk to also happens to be a Mason, where do you think that conversation is going to take place? Some of these theories are based on fact. There's no way around it. It's a big organization that's been around for 500 years. There's no way for it not to be true. But did they fake them? Did the Freemasons fund and fake the moon landing to hide the aliens? I don't think so. I mean, that's one theory. One theory is that the Masons is that the Illuminati made contact with aliens 100 years ago or whatever, and the Masons have been manipulating things in the background ever since, and that they faked the moon landing at the request of the aliens to keep the alien moon bases from being found. That's a Freemasonry. That is a Freemasonry conspiracy theory. That's how convoluted it gets. And it's like, okay, okay, there's a certain, okay. If you suspend your disbelief, it's like, okay, well, if aliens come to Earth, this is something I do believe. If aliens were to come to Earth and they were careful on who they communicated with, if they communicate with the wrong people, the wrong group, the wrong government, that government is going to keep it a secret as long as they can because they're going to want to try and get the most out of the arrangement, and blah 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 blah. So with that little tidbit, and I don't think anybody doesn't believe this, if aliens come to my house tomorrow and said, "Hi, I'm an alien and I'm going to help you and I'm going to do all this thing and I'm going to go," I can get fucking rich if I keep my mouth shut, release a few quick inventions, take my $1 billion, and so yeah, yeah. Wait. Daughters talk about pot. They really. Oh my god! It came up 3 times. What'd you do?
She's fixing it.
It's fine.
Sometimes YouTube spazzes.
Oh, I know. Sometimes
To me too.
Sometimes YouTube spazzes, but this is Donna, so now I can tease her without mercy. It'll be fun. Trust me, Donna. Anyway, no, that happens every now and again. You'll make a comment. Bruno would like to be on camera now. Hi, baby. So, yeah, some of the conspiracy theories get incredibly convoluted, but everybody hides behind this. The Illuminati secretly run the world, and the Illuminati are the secret society within the secret society of the Freemasons, who have different levels to their secret society as it is. It's kind of cannon fodder for those kind of thinkers. It really is. Like, I mean, I firmly believe that if aliens have made contact,
are you turning off the burner?
I'm turning it back on. If aliens have been, I've got a little heating thing to keep my coffee from getting cold. I firmly believe that if aliens have made contact and somehow, for some reason, chosen to do so quietly to avoid panicking the population, that whatever government they contacted would bend heaven and earth to keep it a fucking secret, hoping to advantage themselves with it, hoping to use that to their advantage. Oh, well, teach us how to do this, teach us how to do that. Oh, by the way, we need these weapons. Like, absolutely. I mean, that doesn't mean that I believe this is happening, but I firmly believe that if alien contact were to happen that way, this is how. So people that believe in alien contact and believe in the Illuminati would by default believe that, well, look, I believe that alien contact has happened, and I believe the Illuminati is secretly controlling the world. So, and then you mesh the two. You suspend your disbelief long enough to go, well, wait a second. If you believe that these two things are true, then obviously you're going to believe this. And because your belief is that the Illuminati are the top level secret society that even grand masters, yeah, are they really conspiracy? Oh, now you're just fucking with us, Dover. But no, I mean, you can't. Okay, you're a Mason. You can't tell me you haven't heard this shit. You cannot tell me that you haven't heard this shit. And from people who have, now again, suspend your disbelief. If A is true, if aliens have secretly made contact and the Illuminati secretly controls the world, then suddenly suddenly these things sound on the surface a lot more reasonable, right? So we have no proof of alien contact. We have no proof of the Illuminati, but we have, yeah, Dover is my new favorite too. You're awesome, Dover. Yeah, exactly. Like, and yeah, I mean, and the minute you say, oh yeah, I'm a Mason, I'm a Shriner, I'm this, I'm that, boom, everybody wants it. Well, I believe you're doing this. I believe the Illuminati runs. I believe the Illuminati runs your entire organization, and you just don't know it. And it's like, maybe they do, but you don't know it. So what the fuck? Why is that? You know. So what else? What are some of the other things? My God, yeah. Honestly, you know what? The United States the United States has had a branch.
Sorry, we're at 12:35. Just a quick.
Okay, we're at 12. Okay, we're at 12:35.
Yeah.
Oh, mine says 12:26. One of our
Oh, 12:26. I'm just blind.
Oh, Lisa read 12:26 as 12:35. Okay.
It's like the rumor.
Exactly.
It's like they started the rumor that I don't know anything about housework to hide the fact that the truth is I'm just lazy.
Yeah. Just to answer Caroline, because I don't want to talk about I don't actually want to talk about politics. The Space Force is a weird word for it, but the American government has had a branch that's been dealing with this sort of stuff ever since the NASA days. So while the name is odd, they've always that as an organization, they've pretty much existed for the last 50, 60 years. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth II is a Mason. Apparently there are members of the royal family who are Masons. That is proven. And then there's other people who are rumored to be members that nobody wants to talk about. So, but yeah, so basically, and this is how you follow the rabbit hole, and you get to all this weird shit. So it's like, yeah, if you believe that aliens have secretly made contact, and you believe that the Illuminati are the shadow government that controls the world, then by default you're going to believe this. And if you believe, yeah,
like, hi.
This is Bruno. This is Bruno Dover. He's our diabetic dog who likes to come over here and be on camera every once in a while. Wait. As the body is without spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. Yeah. Yeah, you had to go. Did you catch the part where people believe that Freemasonry is a secret religion? Because that's something that people believe too. I don't know why I'm telling him anything. He's probably heard way more than even I can. And again, I could go on about this for weeks and still not touch on. Yes, okay. This is actually from the Wikipedia article on Masonic conspiracy theories. Just look it up. You'll find a Wikipedia article. The next one is that the 33rd degree of the Scottish Rite is more than an honorary degree, coupled with the belief that most Freemasons are unaware of hidden or secretive ruling bodies within their organization that govern them, conduct occult rituals, and or control various positions of government power. And yes, oh my God, the occult connection is awesome. There is a conspiracy theory. Okay, there's a conspiracy theory that the Masons played a part in inventing tarot because it contains a secret language that they use to communicate with each other. And again, this goes back to the dollar bill thing. Yeah, that there is a centralized worldwide body that controls all Masonic Grand Lodges and thus all of Freemason worldwide and acts in a unified manner. Basically, there is a belief that Freemasons are essentially a secret army, and that if that it's kind of sideways to what this just said. There's a belief that there's a belief that one of the reasons why the Masons are all males and that women aren't allowed is because that they're actually a secret army, and that if/when called to action, they're just basically going to take up arms and take over all the world governments all at once, and the Illuminati, the secret shadow government, will reveal themselves in a bloodless coup and take over the world all in one go. Yeah, that the Illuminati only recruit those with amazing IQ levels or have certain powers. Well, I can tell you they don't do that because my brother-in-law is a fucking idiot. But anyway, yeah, Dover, you got to come back. Bring your friends. Actually, and this is kind of interesting though, because a lot of Freemasonry gets blamed for a lot of stuff because they're the
blamed or credited,
depending on what's going on. Yeah. Okay. So political, that the British judiciary is infiltrated with Masons who give fellow Masons the benefit of the doubt in court, subverting the legal system. Now, back in the 1500s, that was probably true. If a Mason did something and the judge presiding was also a Mason, that was probably true because that sort of nepotism was the norm. It was also against the law to it was against the law to charge a member of the nobility with a crime back then. So we're not so this would not be surprising. And of course, the belief is that continues to this day. That overlaps with or is controlled by the Illuminati. I already talked that one to death. This is the thing, and this and again, to respond to Dover, it doesn't matter what's happening in the lodge, which is where things get fucking weird. It doesn't actually matter what people are doing in the lodge because you guys don't discuss it outside. People just build all these fucked up theories, and so there's almost as much. Yeah, honestly, nepotism still happens in any system. It's just people are human beings and fuck up. But yeah, like the Freemasons don't talk about religion and politics outside because they secretly have their own religion and are controlling the government from the shadows. This is how things get fucked up, right? Like there are people that have literally snuck in cameras trying to prove all this shit, and it never happens that way. And like I said, like during the American Revolution, definitely people who happen to be Masons would get together in Mason lodges to discuss the next step in the war. That makes sense, but that's different, right? Anyway, yeah, that Freemasonry is a Jewish word for world domination. Like it's free men. You could not be a Mason if you were a slave or an indentured servant. That's why they use the word free. Well, because don't forget, a slave or an indentured servant is under the control of somebody else.
Right, and could then be manipulated.
Then it could be manipulated. So again, we're not talking, and again, we're not going to judge the morals of the time, but that was the reality of the time. You didn't want, okay, as a matter of fact, there's a large contingent of Freemasons in Jamaica, and Jamaica basically, and this was like back in the 1800s. I'm not sure. I would actually have to go look it up. But like, there's plenty of people of color who are Masons. There are plenty of people whose background who used to be in the 16 and 1700s. If you were an indentured servant, you couldn't become a Mason, but indentured servitude required paying off a debt. Once the debt was paid, you could become a Mason. So basically, it was more about social status and being in a position to have to answer to somebody else that decided whether or not you could be a Mason. And Masonry is simply stoneworking. Okay. And again, this was a part of anti-Semitism at the time, and anti-Semitism is alive and well. Lots of things are alive and well, depending on where you go. Believe that Freemasonry was a tool of Jewish influence. I think a lot of the rise of power of Freemasonry happened in Jerusalem because the Knights Templar, and this is during the Crusades when pilgrims during that period of time when the Knights Templar held during the Crusades, during that period, just like Muslims go on a Hajj now, on a pilgrimage now as part of their religious beliefs, Christian pilgrims were expected to go on Christians pilgrims wanted and needed to go on pilgrimages to the important Christian sites, and that was Jerusalem.
Yeah.
So anybody who had power and control and influence in Jerusalem was seen as, and then of course and of course there was a series of crusades because it was a series of wars. They would win some territory, lose some territory, as this went back and forth. The belief that Masons were affected by the Jews and the Muslims of the area. That there was also the belief that the Templars were also negatively affected by their associations in the Holy Land. So that has, it doesn't have a kernel of truth, but it has a kernel of legitimacy as to why people would think that. Dusty just found a best Lisa meme.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, we'll be seeing that in your group in a few minutes. Okay, so what's the next one? The Freemasons are behind income taxes in the U.S. That's a new one. One convicted tax protester is charged that law enforcement officials who surrounded his property in a standoff over his refusal to surrender after his conviction were part of a Zionist Illuminati Freemason movement. Oh my God, when was this? They believe the IRS and the federal income tax are part of a deliberate plot perpetrated by Freemasons to control the American people and eventually the world. Okay, pay your tax. Yeah, you know what? Al Capone, who is credited with dozens of murders and ordering the murders of people, and he went to jail for tax evasion. So maybe maybe people believe there's a kernel of truth. Yeah, I'd privately own, not a secret. Yeah. Okay, the groups. Oh, that groups such as the Ku Klux Klan and the Orange Order are intimately tied to Freemasonry. Like everybody knows what the Ku Klux Klan is. The Orange Order was a group that wanted to keep the Irish suppressed. And I'm not sure when that eventually died, but yeah, Orange. If you ever see a place that was formerly known as the Orange Hall, that was a secret society dedicated to wiping out the Irish. It was, yeah. One of my uncles was
allegedly or like actually.
No, one of my the original roots of the Orange Order is proven, and it was to do with because at one time there was like northern there's been warfare. I'm not British. I'm not from the I don't even want to comment on. Yeah, it's still alive in Northern Ireland and Scotland. Isn't there a stripper bar in the Vancouver area called the Orange? Oh, probably. You know what the thing is that you give like 10 or 15 years, even just 10 or 15 years in our modern society, and we forget about the origins of a lot of stuff. The Orange Order was dedicated to actually I'm half British. I'm half British and possibly up to half Native. So there's that. But anyway, yeah. So basically we're talking or Irish. This was a Protestant Catholic issue. North Ireland and Ireland. Their problem is a religious Protestant Catholic. Yeah. So I believe it was King William. The original order came from King William of Orange. There you go. So Marianne does know about it. Yeah, my uncle over here was an Orangeman, but I'm pretty sure that was by the time it would. I think by the time I don't know if racist is the right word, but I think for him it was just something to do. I never heard all that much about it.
Is there a stripper bar called the Orange?
Yeah, that's what
that's what when you addressed it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what Barb just said. Yeah, you know what? I will tell you right now. That some of the things people say and do, if they knew the history of the things that they say and do, they'd probably be horrified. It's like, but you can't use you can't take something that was a problem 1,000 years ago and decide it's a problem today. I guess I don't know, but yeah, it's so divisive. My uncle belonged to an Orange Hall over here, and I don't think he really knew what it was because we're talking way up in the sticks in Ontario where it's like, dude, yeah, like I have no idea. But anyway, so what else do we have? Okay, so I'm just zapping through these because it's 12:30. It's 12:39 now, and I do have to be done in a couple minutes. I have to start saying goodbye because I don't want to get in. Becca's chat is next, and I don't want to step on her toes because that's not fair. It's not her fault I decided to make myself the shit show sandwich between Dustin's time and Becca's time. And don't forget, Dustin is modern metaphysic man, and Three Fat Readers is once a month, which was today. But at the same time on Sundays for the rest of the time, you'll see Modern Metaphysic Man, which is Dustin.
And every other week he has his class.
Every other week he also has a class. He's going through, yeah, the sticks in Ontario, yeah, and you think of Trailer Park Boys, exactly. Every other week, Dustin's doing a series every other week where he totally deep dives on a major arcana card. His very first one was on the Fool. The next one is, oh my God, what is the number? The Magician.
I love you.
Guys,
so
I love tarot, but I'm a forever noob. Throw up your channel, Dustin, because
Yeah,
you go first, then me. And again, if his stuff, the Three Fat Reader stuff goes long, then I'll be delayed. And that's not a problem. And again, I have a hard cutoff to make sure that I'm not interfering with Becca's chat either. So I stay nicely. I try to stay nicely in the middle. Fine, they can click on your name. Be lazy. Don't show a link. Our son is being lazy. Anyway. Yeah, if you click on somebody's name, it'll take you right to their channel. Or if you hover over the side, you'll see 3 dots. It'll also say go to channel. Anyway, okay, so let's just name drop and try and do this quick. There are claims made by conservative Protestants, so that Freemasons at high degrees deceive those at lower degrees and gradually reveal a separate occult religion. Now that's more not just a religion. Yeah, the Freemasons worship Satan. They worship Baal, Baphomet, Dajjal, or Rahu. They are occult in nature and worship their own particular god, such as Gaotu, the great architect of the universe. Now, the Freemasons do study sacred geometry. To what degree? I'm not. Shit show sandwiches. So I don't. I know. I know a lot. The sacred geometry, though, is a very, very interesting topic all by itself. So, but yes, but because they are stonemasons and masonry involves building, and building involves understanding geometry, tons of things around that. And don't forget, you're talking about, it's a great way to whip up the uneducated by vilifying the educated. So alleged occult influences in popular culture. Again, I'm just going through it. I'm just doing this on a, I like to snap my fingers a lot. Look, and I do it badly. Listen, that's it. And I can't snap with that hand at all. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. I try so hard and it's just like, why are you doing that? Anyway, I think I did put it in the hat. We're gonna pull everything out of the hat, see what's there, and then put and because we're trying to keep note of all the things that people mention that they would love to see. So we're gonna check what's in the hat and put stuff in the hat that's been and fill the hat back up. We're gonna be doing that. We meant to do it this week, and again, idiotic, mundane, unavoidable, because unavoidable makes it fun. Chores got in the way of so many things this week. But that's just the way life goes. It's not. I don't regret it because when my chat is more of a shit show, we all have more fun anyway. So who cares, right? Anyway, okay. Occult. So they are an occult organization. Now, something is they do rituals. They summon demons successfully. Magic. That magic is real and the Freemasons control it. Those are theories. They're not in this article. They intertwine various symbols and numerology into modern culture, such as corporate logos, and that is to advertise to each other, hey, this guy's a Mason, this is what we control, blah, 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 blah. That they fake the Apollo moon landings, that the September 11th attacks were astrological in nature as part of a hidden war between Masonry and Islam. And this is the Masonry Illuminati versus the Islam Illuminati, because there is conspiracy theories about that. Anyway, humanoid reptiles are behind the secret societies like the Freemasons and the Illuminati. And again, that the Illuminati, so the humanoid the reptilians. We need to do reptilians because
it's in the hat. Sure.
I think so. Reptilians are
races of aliens or something in the hat.
Races of aliens is one, and I think we need to do reptilians in particular because the things that people believe is phenomenal. That some prominent murderers, like Jack the Ripper, Roberto Calvi, and murderers. That some prominent murders involved Freemasons, including the cases of Jack the Ripper, Robert Calvi, and John F. Kennedy. That there is a conspiracy theory that the Masons ordered Kennedy's assassination and that they were responsible for it. That's another theory. Let me see. Anti-Masonry. So that's it for that article. So yeah. So I babbled to death. What the hell? This won't let me in. Okay.
What are you trying to do?
I had a second page up that literally had bullet points. I was just going to go, so here's some others. Brrr, and now I have to say I do have to say goodbye. Where's my hat?
I gotta do the hat. Left, up, left,
oh my
right,
God. Left. That one.
There you go.
Here's my hat. Okay. So my witch's hat of topics.
Woo, it's time for the hat.
Time for the hat. So Dover, this is my witch's hat I made for Halloween. It's actually a candy dish. And now it's a witch's hat. Apparently, I'm just going to make it all about Dover today. I just think it's awesome that I think it's awesome that we have people who have connections with masonry in here, and that and you guys, you guys and Marion and everybody else who has family who are connected with masonry. Donna, whose family was involved with the Masons, with the Shriners. I think that when people have a connection to this sort of stuff or have a personal reason to be interested in this stuff, join. I think it makes it a lot more fun. So this is my hat of topics. Every time we come up with an interesting topic, we toss it in the hat, and then I pick a new hat. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's tons of Freemasons out there. It's the conspiracies, and of course, the number one conspiracy theory is that the number one conspiracy is that a Freemason says, "Dude, you don't know what you're talking about," and then the answer is, "You're not a high enough degree Mason. You're not a high enough degree Mason to be initiated into the secret Masons to know what's going on. You're just being misled. This is what's really going on." Anyway, so what is next week's topic? What is next week's topic? Oh my God, this is a long one. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to take some. This is good. Oh, this actually has somewhat of a connection to Masons because it's a building thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Stop teasing us.
I like teasing. You guys. Don't forget also, in Lisa's Facebook group, obviously you don't have, we're doing the draw for the quilt in Lisa's Facebook group. I think today at 3:00 this afternoon. And it's already closed for getting your name on the list.
For members of the Facebook group, Peggy wasn't gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was Genna's on YouTube, but
I wasn't. Oh, I'm sorry. That was right too.
Anyway, if you're in the group, go in there.
If you're in the group, there's a chat going on at 3. That's all I really.
Not in the group, join for the next giveaway.
I didn't want to. Yeah, I'm sorry for taunting anybody who's not in the group. That wasn't some weird thing. I didn't mean to make it weird. But yeah, anybody who's in the group, we're going to be going live in the group at 3. It's a secret. You know why?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We did it. We're doing a bit of a giveaway. It's not a big deal. But yeah, Lisa has a group, and that's all related to tarot. So we are doing the Helmholtz resonance.
What the fuck is that?
This is one. We touched on this a few weeks ago and put it in the hat by popular demand. This is moving things with sound.
Oh, right.
Do you remember
that? We actually did put that in the hat in the very first.
Using sound waves to levitate and things like that.
Helmholtz resonance.
Helmholtz resonance.
I thought you said residence, and I was
resonance. Resonance.
Resonance.
I have allergies. There's always certain letters that are always, certain letters are always going to come out funny. And anyway, it's the resonance. So we're going to do that. Yeah, never heard of it. Actually, that's the real ancient aliens type stuff. It is. There is. Okay. When explorers first went to Easter Island, and they said, "How did you get those moai in place?" We sang them there. We sang and they walked. Was the answer. Something along those lines. The Coral Castle. Yes, the Coral Castle is another one that this is what he said he did. He used sound. The Coral Castle, this guy built it all by himself. Okay, I got to stop. I've only got 10 minutes and I don't want to get in Becca's way. The Coral Castle was a massive structure that this guy built secretively at night by himself, moving 30-ton blocks of coral. They don't know.
Save it for next week.
Yeah, I'm going to do this for an hour and a half next week. So it's called the Coral. Just look up Coral Castle in Florida. You'll find it. You'll find. Yeah, he was a little guy with lung issues. Anyway, that is not the only structure that was reputed there. Oh, hi, Tamaya. Yeah, we are actually just saying goodbye. We're just wrapping up now. Next week we just talked about stonemasons. I'm gonna center out Dover because Dover is a stonemason. He joined us today. Like it was a Freemason. It was a lovely surprise. He's been a lot of fun and very, 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 very accommodating to just join in like that. But yeah, so we're going now chats, rewatch the chat if you want, if you're just saying goodbye as we say. I'm doing the awkward. Oh my god. Okay, you guys are used to it. I don't care.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe because I'm fucking awesome.
Next, see you all again
next week is Helmholtz resonance, and that is the concept of moving things with sound. Like, yeah, grab a pee, grab a drink. See you in the Slag chat. You guys have a great day. See you next week. Bye.